Have you ever just stopped and watched a city skyline? The luxury cars gliding effortlessly down the street, while right next to them, you've got busy workers practically running down the sidewalks, hustling to get to their 9 to 5s. It really makes you wonder, why do some people seem to get richer effortlessly, while others just keep working harder and harder, yet stay in the exact same place? Is it just luck, raw talent, or is there something way deeper going on? Seriously, why do the hardest workers often struggle the most? Well, the truth is, building wealth isn't actually about how much you earn on your paycheck. It's about understanding a hidden system that most people, frankly, never even see. Today, we're going to uncover that invisible system of money together. Consider this explainer your ultimate step-by-step guide, even for absolute beginners, to finally take control of your financial future. We're going to unpack this invisible system in 5 quick steps. First, the illusion of hard work. Second, the power of ownership. Third, time and compound growth. Fourth, understanding debt as a trap versus a tool. And finally, the financial education difference.
Okay, step 1, the illusion of hard work and why a salary just isn't enough. Since childhood, we're taught this one very simple formula. You work hard, you earn a salary, you save a little, and you repeat. Sounds logical, right? But here is the massive problem with that. Millions of people follow this exact formula to the letter, and they still struggle financially. And the reason why is because the system was never actually designed to reward pure effort alone.
The UBS Global Wealth Report shows this really stark contrast between relying on a salary versus building equity. A salary is just one path, sure, but it has a very hard ceiling. True wealth, that comes from entrepreneurial profits and investing your savings gainfully over a long period of time. You absolutely have to make that mental shift from working for your money to making your money work for you. Which brings us right into step 2, the power of ownership. Because there are really only 2 types of people in the financial world, those who work for money and those who make money work for them. The wealthy don't just trade their time for dollars. They focus almost entirely on ownership. To understand this, let's define an asset really simply. An asset is basically something that generates income over time and actively puts money into your pocket. We're talking about things like stocks, real estate, or owning a business. This is the ultimate tool the rich use to build systems that pay them literally while they sleep. On the flip side, we have liabilities. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. Think high-interest credit cards, those daily unnecessary splurges, or that massive car loan. I mean, the new car smell fades pretty fast, but those monthly payments definitely don't. And unfortunately, this is exactly where poor and middle-class folks often get trapped. They mistakenly believe they're buying assets when they're actually just racking up liabilities. The FI-Cycle standards on financial education frame this so perfectly. They state that the fundamental measure of financial well-being is wealth, which encompasses assets, liabilities, income, and expense. So at the end of the day, your actual net worth is mathematically super simple. It's just your assets minus your liabilities. You increase the assets and you decrease the liabilities. That's the game.
Let's move on to step 3, time and compound growth, or what I like to call the snowball effect of wealth. Time is honestly the most powerful, yet somehow the most frequently ignored tool in all of finance. It's the secret engine behind those assets we just talked about, because money, when invested, doesn't just grow. It grows on its own growth. It creates this massive, unstoppable snowball effect.
Now, when absolute beginners look at the stock market, fear is usually the biggest hurdle. But historical data from the S&P 500 tells a totally different story. If you invest for just a 1-year horizon, there's about a 25% chance historically of losing money. But watch what happens as time goes on. At 10 years, that drops down to between 5 and 11%. Time drastically reduces your risk. And the ultimate payoff? 0%. Over a rolling 20-year span, the historical chance of losing money in the broad S&P 500 index drops to essentially 0. The wealthy don't try to time the market perfectly. They just start early, they stay in it, and they let time and compound growth do all the heavy lifting.
The FI-Cycle standards highlight a really fascinating contrast here. The traditional way of thinking is just managing today's cash budget, right? Like just making sure you can pay this month's bills. But true wealth building is about using compound growth to literally transfer your consumption forward in time. It's like time travel for your money. You're sending it into the future so it can take care of you later.
Okay, step 4, debt. Is it a trap
or a tool? Because we really need to rethink how we view debt, since not all of it is created equal. While consumer credit cards are a completely hidden trap that will drain your wealth, the wealthy actually use strategic debt as a potent tool to acquire those income-generating assets.
The Urban Institute breaks this down perfectly using housing as an example. Renting is 100% expense. That money is just gone, and it's totally subject to inflation. But a fixed-rate mortgage, that stabilizes your biggest monthly expense for decades. Plus, the principal payments you make act as a forced savings account while you build equity. In that case, you're using debt to buy an asset. And finally, step 5, the financial education difference, and how to actually step into the system. Here is the absolute biggest secret of all. This entire system of wealth, it isn't actually hidden. It's just not taught in traditional schools. Schools teach you how to work for money, but they rarely, if ever, teach you how money works. So, how do we start? Well, the Saxo Bank FIRE Guide, FIRE standing for Financial Independence Retire Early, recommends 4 super actionable steps. 1. Analyze your annual expenses so you know exactly how much you need to save. 2. Set up an automated monthly investment plan so you don't even have to think about it. 3. Choose tax-optimized investment vehicles. And 4. Plan out multiple income streams, like dividend stocks or maybe real estate.
But to really make this work, you have to focus on small, daily habits. It's about saving aggressively, keeping those investments automated, reinvesting your stock dividends so that snowball just keeps getting bigger, actively dodging high-interest consumer debt like the plague, and keeping that 20-year long-term mindset. But focusing on these consistent habits every single day, absolutely anyone can eventually replace their employment income with passive income.
The incredibly good news here is that anyone can learn and use these rules. This invisible system of money is completely available to you once you just know how it works. But the ultimate choice is yours. Will you stay in the standard cycle, working harder and harder just to stay in the exact same place, or will you change your daily habits and step into the system? So, what is one asset you can start building today?
I hope this video is very helpful for you. Subscribe for more videos. Prime Dollar Lab.